Hail and well met. Welcome to the third episode of Greymantle. Eventually, I will lose count. I am Eric Scott the DM of many games here on the Dungeon Scrawlers channel. This game brought to you by this lovely bottle of Noah's Mill bourbon that my Dungeon Scrawler mates got for me for my birthday, and I have been slowly making my way through it. As you can see, it's like maybe 35% still left. Anyway, it's really great, and I also write a lot and I game a lot, and you probably know all of this because, well, I talk about it all the time. But what I don't talk about all the time is our special guest member, who is Amanda Cherry, who has come to join us tonight in our Greymantle game, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and her character, and then we're going to get on with our regular crew too. Take it away, everyone. Amanda.
I'm so excited to be here. My name is Amanda Cherry. I am here because I am an unapologetic Eric Scott to be fangirl. And I have spent the last, I don't even remember
how why she's here. That's just a fact.
To get to be part of this. And I'm so thrilled to be here. In my real life, I write books about girls who aren't that nice and have lots of magic. And in fact, tonight I will be playing a girl who's not that nice and has a little bit of magic. Anji is my tiefling bard, and she's kind of a brat, and I think you will find she is an entertaining one.
Awesome.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. I am Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie, or if you see me in the chat, I'm there as Shay Darksong. I am generally a moderator, and I am also a writer, game designer, and so many other things. I have recently written the intro fiction for a Shadowrun supplement called The Third Parallel that is actually out now on DriveThruRPG. So go check that out if you're a Shadowrun fan and haven't, because that one is a lot of fun. I am, as ever, playing the Silver Sparrow, who when last we left off was not having a good day, but I think we're gonna be rolling back a little bit. She still had a bad day, but we're gonna be doing some other stuff.
We're gonna pay it forward, or maybe pay it backward. Yes,
something like that. But she is a thief extraordinaire, at least in her own mind. And I also want to call out that we are still supporting and accepting, encouraging donations for the Trevor Project, which Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and mental health organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. And I believe we are $50 away from our goal. So if you want to donate down in the doobly-doo, there should be a link down there, I believe. And on a still cool but less important in the grand scheme of things note, we are also still accepting donations for some cool artwork to commemorate the end of Westgate Irregulars chapter or book 3. And the beginning of book 4, the final, I believe, book of the Westgate Irregulars campaign. And that is also, I believe, down in the doobly-doo. I believe that's the Ko-fi that you want people to go through.
Yep. There will be an announcement about the conclusion of the game and exactly when and in what form it will take. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Take it away, Forda.
Hi, I'm Forda. On Twitter, I'm Fortavare with no dash in between, same on Twitch. I also go by Lex, if you want to call me that too. I'll be playing Sounder, sorry. Sorry, I just threw off my own mojo. I'll be playing totally Sounder, cool. Who is a shifter, which we discovered last session. And playing a homebrew class called the Gutter Mage. It's a wizard subclass, and this is gonna be a fun chance to really see how that goes.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. This game is a little bit experimental with some of the mechanics. Like we have the Gutter Mage, we have the Shadow Dancer that I devised. There might be some items and spells that show up. It's gonna be neat. Jen.
Hey guys, I am Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. I run savagesparrow.com, which is a really awesome website for nerdy apparel and accessories. We just got the Pathfinder license, and we'll be launching our first collection on October 25th
yeah.
on Kickstarter.
Amazing.
You can, yeah, like if you follow me on Twitter, it's the pinned link right at the top. So definitely give the project a follow. It's going to be amazing. It's all Goblin Chaos themed. I'm really excited. But tonight I am playing Orianna Devereaux, who is a tiefling warlock. Unfortunately, sort of bound into one of the many guilds, and its fiendish patron.
Excellent. I also wanted to give a brief shout out to our one of our one of our other patrons of the show, which is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, who sponsor us. They are a very cool tactical role-playing game that combines many characters from all corners of the realms, live shows, games, books, source books, everything. Erin's characters are there, Farida and her crew. The Drizzt characters are there. A bunch of people that you've seen on shows like ours, not actually ours, but like ours. Yeah. Anyway, and they are currently having an event called the Hunger of the Far Realm, where if you go, you can vote to influence the live TTRPG game that is going on right now or soon. I'm not sure exactly, but yes, you should definitely do that, and you could get a token for a free prize for doing that. So I highly encourage you. They're also doing a Liar's Night event where you can get a special character from Rivals of Waterdeep, Kent, for those of you who watch Rivals of Waterdeep. So that is a pretty cool thing. And of course, there's the code down below in the doobly-doo down there. And if you put that code in, you can get a cool thing for Idle Champions. And yeah, I think that about covers it. All right, let us know if you get something cool. Otherwise, we are ready to go with the game. So let me see here. So when last we left two of our heroes, well, when last we left all three of our heroes, they had encountered this very powerful, very evil, very mad wizard who did something strange to one of them. And it will also be determined that he did something strange to the others as well. And I realized that I had a little prologue thing written, and then I didn't have my notes open, which is a rookie move. Don't talk amongst yourselves, I'm almost there. Okay. All right, so to start us off this week. For in his wisdom, the Nameless One saw that the world would not persist without darkness, for the light would burn all things to ash. And so it was that he, greatest and most beauteous of angels, waged a war he could not win, and so allowed all life to grow by his sacrifice. But it was life that proved his undoing, for in his moment of triumph, 'twas his own child overthrew him and scattered his name to the outer darkness. He wanders now, the twice fallen, and his fire gutters, but is not extinguished. He watches, he waits, he will rise again. We will be ready. That's from the Canticle of the Nameless King, the twice fallen, the great foe of Hellfire. And so, the strange door opens in the wall, as though the wall is unfolding, unraveling, to permit this crumbling ruin of an old man who wanders into the room. And he stares around at the intruders in his manor, and he locks eyes with the Sparrow. And they share a moment, and for you others, for Sounder and for Orianna, the world seems to stretch and go dark. And you find yourselves floating in some kind of strange green void. There's light, it's green light, like firelight, glowing all around you, spiraling around you like fireflies, containing a baleful radiance of some kind. You don't know where you are. You don't know how any of this is possible. Orianna, you see a faint red flickering glow, like a torch, growing slightly larger as though it is approaching you. Sounder is floating next to you. You're both just kind of floating out there. Do you want to grab on to Sounder? Sounder, do you want to grab onto Orianna?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least Ori would like reach out towards her.
Okay. So you start reaching out,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like you're very close together, but as you reach out, you spiral apart as though the distance is just lengthening as your arm extends. Sounder, you have the same experience. That it just feels like the dimensions don't match your anticipated understanding of how things should work. The torch is still approaching you, Orianna, and it is approaching you. Sounder, you think that you can vaguely see this torch as well, but it's kind of become a tiny little light in the distance as you find yourself pushing farther and farther away out into the darkness. But it seems like Orianna's fingertips are just right there, just almost touching yours. What do you do?
Can I make like an Arcana check or something to get an idea of where, what this might be? Like,
Please do.
Okay.
Sounder, you could do the same if you like.
Did that
All right.
work, or did that not?
Additionally, I think did that?
You could do anything that you want to.
Real fast, because Jen as a player is not smart. How do I roll from D&D Beyond into the Roll20 campaign?
Okay, well you have to have the Beyond 20 extension loaded in.
Oh, that's right. I had to do.
And they have to be in the same browser.
Okay.
If that's not the case, you could just roll a die and just tell me what you get. I'll trust you.
Okay. I roll because I couldn't get it to work last time in what is it? Chrome. So I'm using Edge Chromium. And I got an 11.
Okay. You are not sure, but it seems like space is distorted in some way. Like you're in a dimension where the usual laws of physics aren't the same.
It's just like that effect that got us here. What? Sounder, are you okay?
Sounder, you hear Orianna's voice echo many, many times over to reach you, and it gets louder rather than quieter.
Oh God!
You keep hearing, "Sounder, are you okay? Sounder, are you okay? Sounder, are you okay? Sounder, are you okay?" And it starts getting louder and faster, and I won't repeat it because that will just be irritating. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think as Orianna was reaching and that space distortion was happening, I think Sounder's first instinct, considering Sounder still has a small crate of like goods in arms from
yeah,
walking through this door, it's like, kind of trying to shuffle them, and then that occurs and it's just closes her eyes to try and like, ooh, that's really vertigo inducing. Maybe if I close my eyes, that feeling will stop. I don't think it does stop that feeling, but like the attempt is made.
It's interesting when you close your eyes, the sound abruptly stops. Like everything becomes silent.
And if opening eyes, does the sound persist or does
yeah.
Okay.
It's like you're opening and closing your ears, but it's your eyes. You think.
Okay, so if I try to get a sense of, the smell of the place, has that changed as well?
You do have a very enhanced sense of smell, don't you?
I do.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go ahead and make a perception check, please?
All right.
And since you have the shifter sense of smell, you can have an advantage on your check.
Good. Why is this not functioning? Why, beyond 20, have you ceased your function?
Why, beyond 20, have you betrayed me? Anyway, you
Yeah.
can just tell me what you got. I'll trust you.
Hang on. It's just not rolling at all, even in beyond 20. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Give me a sec. I will try and get it to roll. It will just do its job.
So anyway, while Sounder is testing out the limits of her senses, Orianna, that torch is coming closer to you, and you think that it's a person just walking toward you through the darkness, not on any ground or like in relation to any object other than yourself.
Can I make a perception check? 15.
Okay. You think it is a tiefling man based on his horns, and you think that it is Dumat, your mentor person, who's coming toward you.
I feel like this makes her like more suspicious. So she's just kind of like on her guard, but like ready to throw some spells if it gets to there. And she's sort of vaguely floating, like she's trying to look confident, like she means to be floating here in this space, and it's not alarming or bothersome at all.
Okay. So in his deep resonant voice, he says, there you are, girl.
Does it also echo everywhere?
No, you only hear his voice the one time. Sounder, did you have luck with the rolls?
I think I fixed it, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, they just populated in Roll20.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you got a 19. And with your 19, you can tell that what normally would function as your sense of smell is instead like your sense of spatial location. Like you think you can move yourself by concentrating on smells.
Cool. I'm going to concentrate on what I would recognize as Orianna's scent as opposed to enemy scent if I can find it.
What would you recognize as Orianna's scent?
I don't know. Orianna, what do you typically smell of? Like, what are there like a perfume that she wears or like
Cover the brimstone smell?
Yeah. There's probably like, some sort of like very cheap perfume of like, I don't know, let me think. I don't want to say like it's like one of those like really cheap old lady like potpourri kind of perfumes, but like again, and you assume it's probably just this is whatever is strong enough to cover the brimstone, but cheap enough to be afforded on a regular basis.
Right.
But you could still smell that brimstone.
especially you, Sounder, can definitely still smell the brimstone. Yeah. It's like this weird mixture. It's very unique. Very uniquely Orianna's scent.
Little delicate notes of like I say delicate notes of like jasmine or something, where it's like this really bold smell, and then it's like with a little bit of brimstone and sulfur for good measure.
All right, so you're concentrating on the smell, and sure enough, you find yourself next to Orianna, as though you were floating there beside her the whole time.
I'm gonna try and speak to her, but I'm going to try and speak softly. Just because, the distance made things louder. What if talking softly makes it louder too? So, just kind of whispers, Orianna, try your nose. Not that that's actually probably going to do Orianna much good, just it's something.
Okay. Orianna.
Does
Yeah,
it
you do
echo?
hear that message. It is indeed very loud.
Okay. What? And like I feel like she like looks at startled that Sounder's there, and is just like, do you see him?
Sounder, you can see the torch, and you see the person approaching. He's a kind of middle-aged tiefling man. He's fairly robust in build, like he could be a warrior. Although what he's doing does not look like something you would associate a warrior with doing. As he's walking, his footsteps create these faint little red gouts of light, and as he's moving, it looks like there's a corridor kind of forming under him as he's approaching you, and he moves and kind of spirals around until he's on the same level with you.
Dumont, where are we?
He says, "You are trapped in a madness dimension, child. I am here to rescue you." What is that? He points at Sounder.
She's my friend.
Fish-faced woman just snorting in your general direction, trying to get an idea of what you are.
This is Sounder. She is my friend.
You wish to bring her with you?
Yes.
Very well.
Sounder, this is Dumont, hopefully.
Take her hand and then take my hand. He puts his hand out. Make sure you do it in that order.
Her hand is it.
Okay. All right. So the world kind of shudders around you, and little red light appears all around you, and it seems like the world is shifting and crackling, and then it kind of breaks apart, and you find yourselves in a disused cellar underneath some building. There are dusty crates and kegs. There's a table. There are a couple of chairs, and you can faintly hear chanting somewhere above you.
Where is Sparrow?
The disorientation fades gradually. And Dumont is standing there. Sounder and Orianna, you are both there. You feel very dizzy, and like it's strange trying to readjust to using your body to move rather than using your olfactory senses. Okay, Dumont doesn't answer your question. He goes around and he starts lighting candles. He just does that by like snapping his fingers over the candle and it lights up. And he says, "Well, this was quite an expenditure of power, girl. I hope it has been successful, your mission of this evening."
Orianna looks at Sounder, because you're holding the thing, right?
I'm holding the crate of the stuff we brought in.
Oh.
Sparrow was the one who had the thing that did not look like the thing.
Okay.
And may have been the calling card of something else.
Okay.
I don't know if we specifically got a look at that before old evil wizard came in.
She kind of looks like, she's trying not to throw up, and just sort of looks up at him.
Here, Demont hands you a wineskin.
She takes it and sort of sniffs.
It's very strong alcoholic wine, like fortified wine.
Sure, let's go.
Okay, that helps settle your stomach somewhat.
Cool. She would pass some of it to Sounder too. We had a third companion, a thief, Sparrow. She last.
You do not mean the elf woman that you have been entangled with in the past.
I mean.
You do.
Yes, but you know, it was there. She is very good at her job.
He takes the wine back and takes some himself.
Very good at her job. You said the best.
So good, in fact, that she's the one that has what you're looking for.
So she betrayed you.
No.
So she has the prize, but you do not. And I had to pull you from a madness
She
domain.
might be dead.
No.
Or what a pity that would be. He drinks more wine.
Okay, if we can all just like dial this down for a second.
She is a force of chaos who has led you many, many, many leagues astray.
Yes. It looks like she's trying to argue, but like has nothing. And she just keeps on like trying to form sentences, but just like the words just keep like dying on her lips until she's just like.
That's valid.
So the shard is not in the possession of Lord Robillard, yes?
Correct.
It's not.
At least as far as we're aware, because then that thing appeared and we got put in that dimension. So the way I see it, there are a couple of possibilities. Either that thing captured Sparrow, and we have failed, or Sparrow was able to evade it, in which case we are successful by virtue of Lord Robillard no longer having it, or some other third party intervened and we don't know.
A third party.
You know, actually.
He looks to Sounder. His eyes are, I mean, they're not literally on fire. They're not like burning pits,
got that glow
but
to
they
them.
got a faint little back glow to them. And his scrutiny is very, very intense. Speak, merchant.
So you sent Orianna on this.
I led Orianna to follow this mission, yes?
And you gave Orianna the parchment with the details.
I did.
Who else did you give details to?
No one.
Who did you get details from?
My sources are my own. Why does it matter?
Your sources either led you astray, or you have led us astray.
I would not
Orianna's
knowingly
not
put...
the only one who had a parchment.
I would not knowingly put Orianna in danger. If I had been betrayed, I would know of it.
Orianna looks like oddly like, oh. when Dumas says that.
Very well. Orianna, I have another task for you. I would know who else knew the identity of the holder of this item. Who knew to steal it from this particular manor house, and who has it now? I suggest you consult an information broker of some kind. I have a suggestion. If you were to go to the Cat's Tongue, you shall find the Exile. She is a loud keeper of a great deal of information.
A loud keeper of information.
Yes.
How does that work? 'Cause-
Very unexpectedly.
Oh, is this
She
a
won't.
case of talks your ear off? You don't think they know anything because they talk about everything?
That would appear to be her strategy. Anyway, she is no doubt performing at the cat's tongue. And when I say performing, well, you will have to see for yourself.
Okay. The only thing I can think of otherwise is I know that Sparrow had at least partial information about this job before I had even talked to her, which is how we all got together. So,
Very well. I shall include finding her among your tasks. See what information she has and where she obtained it, and dispose of her if necessary.
yes.
I sense some hesitation. Surely your feelings are not getting in the way of your task.
They won't.
Excellent. He looks over at Sounder. What to do about you?
Send me along.
Orianna, do you trust this one?
Yes. She has had opportunity to betray me in the past.
Bad for business.
And has not.
Business is your motive. You wish a reward then, yes?
Eventually. At the
Very
very
well.
least, I'd like to know my certain contacts aren't dead.
He
They
pulls a
tend to be pretty
pouch.
good clients.
He pulls a clinking pouch out from behind his back and tosses it to you.
Starts weighing it. Just that.
You do
Opens
not
it up.
betray Orianna. I shall triple that.
About how much is in this pouch?
It's based on you weighing it,
And then
and you
opening
kind of
up
glance at what it is. It's gold pieces. It's 100 gold pieces.
And legit gold too, not that silly paper money that's been making the rounds.
Yes.
Funny money.
Dumont does not deal in paper.
Takes a bit out, tries to, do the usual checks of, is this real gold? People do shady stuff, and first time Sounder's been shortchanged.
I can provide you with marks if you would prefer, but I am a traditionalist.
Marks are okay, but it's the shiny stuff that gets people talking.
Orianna, I shall reward your efforts as well.
You don't have to. I just
Prove yourself useful. Prove yourself successful and effective, and I shall reward you. Consider it an investment. I am fond of you, but I should also like to think of you as an effective agent. Prove me right.
Of course. Thank you for your faith and your trust.
The servant's entrance is that way.
Is there anything else that we should be aware of about what that wizard was, or
He is a servant of powers beyond your comprehension. He If you had remained in that place, your bodies and souls would have been rent asunder in ways that you could not imagine. Such sights he had to show you. Fortunately, you did not have to see them.
Thank you.
Somewhat pertinent question.
Yes.
If dimension or place or mind game was that dangerous, how do we know he's not just going to be able to reach out and latch on from wherever he is again?
He discarded you into the far realm. I doubt he would seek you out again. Unless you crossed him again. But if you are correct and your friend has made off with something of his or knows where to find it, it's more likely he will go after her. All the more reason to locate your friend, yes?
Can I attempt an insight check?
Sure, go for it.
I wanna basically get a vibe for like how much he wants Sparrow dead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
While you're doing that, I want to do a call out real quick. I want to do a call out real quick to thank Winterborn 1-2, I think, for I think I got that right, for throwing some inspiration my way. So thank you very much.
Apparently there was some sympathy for go kill your friend.
More than friends.
Okay. He didn't say go kill your friend. He said if you have to kill your friend, please do so.
Oh God.
Semantics.
So it is on you to figure out how not to do that.
Yeah. We're gonna try our best.
I trust you.
And
That's a mistake.
he suggested that you go to the Cat's Tongue to see about this information broker.
Yeah. How upset does he seem to be that we don't have the thing?
With your insight 10, you cannot read him.
Damn it.
On that note, I would also like to have an idea of how much of a sword is hanging over our heads right now.
Go ahead and make an insight check. I would allow you also to make an investigation check, because this is kind of like you putting together clues and stuff.
I am way better at investigation.
Awesome.
I'm gonna do that then.
I kind of got the sense this wasn't really the wisdom party, so
Nope.
you know.
Really isn't.
I
It
actually
really
have
isn't.
a decent wisdom.
Okay.
I actually do.
Yeah,
It's just-
Sounder's the one with the common sense.
I only got 13.
Yeah, you're not really sure. He doesn't seem really upset. He just
No.
seems like, well, I'm glad he doesn't have it, but I want you to make sure he doesn't get it again.
Yeah. I mean, we did follow it to the letter.
That's right.
Not the spirit,
Yeah,
but the letter.
So,
That matters.
Sounder, what was the result that you got?
A 22.
Oh, okay.
Dirty.
So, Sounder, you can tell that he is interested in the fulfillment of the letter of the contract, just like Jen was suggesting. That, like, he said, make it so that Lord Robillard does not have this item. And you have done that. And he, even though you don't have it to give to him or to use yourself or to prove that he doesn't have it, your word that he does not have it because somebody took it seems to satisfy him. But at the same time, he wants you to follow up. So he doesn't seem to be upset.
Trust but verify. That's sound. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
We can work with this.
Yeah, but he seemed very, very, very wedded to the strict verbiage of the verbal contract that he made with Orianna. Like a lawful person would be.
Yeah, it's
Fair.
a lawful person. Speaking of lawful, Oriana's odd eye. Does it remind in any capacity of Dumont's eyes?
Dumont has
Sorry, what
very,
did you
very bright red eyes. Like they have a little red glow at the back of them. When he stares at you directly, you could see it. Otherwise, they appear to be black without irises.
Okay.
So
But
I don't
what
know
did
if
you say, Jen?
Orianna's eye is similar to that. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of see Ori's eyes as being just sort of like dark with like, the yellow or whatever.
Okay. So not really the same.
Okay.
If you're trying to get at whether they're related in some way or like he's her warlock patron, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Okay. That was what I was getting at. Is this your patron? Should I really be like step in a particular way, or is he just, your liaison? And it's still dangerous, but less so.
Okay. I assume you're having this. You can have this conversation
Yeah.
as you're leaving. All right. So you head out into the darkness of the Greymantle night. It is often night in Nightside, but here you get the sense that what Nightside has that passes for day is still hours off. You climb out from under into an alley and appear to be next to a church, Hellfire Church, to one of the gods of hell, essentially. This particular church was to Dispater, who is one of the gods of hell in the Hellfire religion.
Point of order. Was Sounder brought as just Sounder, or was Sounder able to also bring that crate?
Yeah, you have the crate.
Okay, good. Because out of the crate, Sounder is going to pull her spell book.
That would have been quite a thing to lose in the Far Realm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
This sheaf of papers and parchments and like sewn together with like twine and bits of like wire. Like it's a really janky looking book. Just shoves that in shirt and starts pulling the useful components out of it.
Okay. The services at the Temple of Dispater are ending. Like all the chanting goes silent, and you hear the bells of the Devil's Choir, which is the largest temple in Nightside, to the largest Hellfire temple in Nightside, to the Queen of Hell, Glasia, the Queen of Hell. And the horns are the bells are announcing the commencement of her service, which will last for the next hour. They have religious services to the gods of hell on a very strict 9-hour order. So you can basically tell what time of day it is based on which service is going on.
Okay.
And Glasia's services always last 2 hours, because she's the Queen of Hell. So, all right, you're gonna head over to that Cat's Tongue Tavern. You're gonna have a conversation.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, as we're going along, Sounder's gonna go, okay, so, Sparrow didn't seem particularly happy about what she found, so I don't know if Sparrow has what we're looking for, so we need to find who has what we're looking for.
I mean, I guess. So
What I mean, at the same time, that guy was very angry that we were in that space, so if he knew where it was and it wasn't there, he wouldn't be angry at us for having the thing.
I mean, it could be that whatever the thing was, is perhaps was referred to by what we thought it was as a way to keep it coded or hidden or something like that. So it is possible that maybe Sparrow did get it, or it is something far worse than we were led to believe, which would be why we had to get it out of there. I mean, all we can do is just go to the information broker and find out, hopefully, all the answers to these questions.
Yeah.
And you didn't see her
No.
before.
We were there, then we were not there, and then we were here. Oh man. Ooh.
Hey,
Disorienting, isn't it?
Left some crates at. Ooh. Those better not tie back to me.
I don't know. Maybe this.
Oh,
is...
and the horse, the
I gotta
chunky
go
horse.
get Brad. Okay, I gotta go get Brad. I'll meet you at the Cat's Tongue.
You want me
Before I
to go with you?
Brad's probably wandered off from the estate by that. You know, by now, how much time has passed actually? But based on the sound of the bells.
Based on the sound of the bells, you were in that strange dimension for at least 2 hours.
Okay, so
it felt
upon
like simultaneously
having come out of
much
here-
less time than that and much longer than that.
Okay, so having come out of there and back into this reality, I mean, heck, even if it had lasted a little longer, over the course of the conversation, a minute had passed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like, Sounder's back to normal half-orc looking, not more piggish looking, just going along like, okay. Gotta get Brad.
In an act of DM clemency and mercy, I will say that that your stables, where you do your trade out of, is between you and the Cat's Tongue, which is down a little ways. So it's kind of on the way that you're going to go past your own place of business. And so as you're having this thought about, gotta find Brad. Brad probably wandered off. I don't know where Brad is. You hear a familiar.
Good boy. Walked yourself home. That's good.
And you see Brad, the chunky horse, is waiting at the stable yard.
Very good. Okay, gonna let
with
him
the cart
in.
still attached to him.
Even
Like he's
better.
trying to get into the stable, but the cart's still attached to
the
him.
door. Let me in. Kick the door.
Yeah, he has put like some major dents in the door. He's like knocked out one of the boards.
Okay, just a sec.
Fix that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to tip anything off too much, but they didn't take him back inside. They just left him out there.
I think, on the one hand, I think someone else owns the place and owns the building, but I don't know if anyone else actually works there.
Now that I'm
Stuff
thinking
happened.
about it,
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, you did encounter someone else there who was like, thanks for bringing back Brad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That whole conversation.
All right. So he's not stuck outside. He's back in the stable.
Okay.
And the wagon that you borrowed for the night's festivities is also
in-
there. It is
okay.
unloaded. There's nothing in it.
Wagon's back. That's a good sign. Just gonna poke head. Not gonna go through the actual light shop. Just gonna open up the stable door a little bit. See.
Yeah. You see Chunky
Okay.
Brad.
Close stable door because I don't want to talk to my boss. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk.
You
to my
don't
boss
see
at
any
all.
other people there though. There's
Do you
no
think-
candle lit inside or anything.
I'm gonna walk up and then off to the Cat's Tongue. I was about to call it the Cat's Cradle.
Or Orianna looks kind of like troubled when Sounder gets back and is just like, do you think she brought it back?
To
Your horse, do you think it was Sparrow?
I don't know. Maybe. I hope so. Because that means that she can be found
I
and
don't.
isn't trapped in whatever the hell we were in.
But then it also means that she left us in there.
That's assuming she knew how to get back in, or that we were in there.
She knew.
Either way, we gotta find her. Because she knows if she had the thing or didn't.
Yep. The creepy lines on Orianna's magic eye just sort of pulsate like somewhat violently.
Okay. You gonna head toward the cat's tongue?
Yeah.
Okay. So the cat's tongue is a tavern, a fest hall, if you will, which is a nicer way of saying it's a brothel, which is open all hours of Nightside. In fact, it is most frequently attended at the darkest times of Nightside. You can hear the merriment and festivities out in the street where you are. You also hear a loud drumming sound as someone is performing inside the cat's tongue, quite loudly. And as you approach, you see a tiefling woman up on the elevated stage, in the midst of a musical performance. Take it away, Amanda.
What you need to know is that this is like the Greymantle equivalent of like rock and roll. She's playing basically exactly the music that this crowd would want to hear, and occasionally using thaumaturgy to make it like surround sound is happening. Like,
nice.
Probably more of a show than you would expect in this kind of place, but she does not even seem to notice the other people. She is like super lost in her own world. Audience schmaudience. I'm here for the art. It's like the Sheila E. of Greymantle.
And what does she look like physically?
She is kind of short, a bit unusually curvy for a tiefling, with bright pink skin and purple hair and more makeup than someone who is there for the art probably should be wearing, but it fits in with the crowd. And a full-on, slightly fetish wear informed leather ensemble, including long skirt with leggings and boots that are so tall people might wonder how she walks in them.
Awesome. Yeah, there is no doubt in your mind that that is the Exile that Dumont was referring to, partly because she's a tiefling, and that she is a tiefling and not a member of Hellfire suggests that she has some kind of complicated history with Hellfire. If Dumont referred to her as an exile, that suggests that she was booted out of Hellfire for some reason. Anyway, she is performing very loudly.
I hope there were fun reasons.
But one can never hope, really.
Yeah. Won't know unless we ask, and that's a story we'll probably never get told.
So, meanwhile, on the other side of the room, Sparrow, Tarant has brought you to the cat's tongue and says, well, we need to wait until she's done with her performance, and then she can give us the information that we need. So, why don't you do whatever it is that you do in crowded situations, and I shall lurk here.
Are you going to lurk in the corner? Rude.
Do you have a problem with it?
No, it's a classic. Do what you like.
I will keep an eye out. Why don't you make sure no one's waiting to ambush us?
Yes,
Partner.
I'm sure that they're just waiting to ambush us in this crowded. Well,
One can never be too careful. Crowds aren't really my thing.
yes, well, leave the mingling to me. I'll take care of things.
Yes, the beautiful elf, as opposed to the taciturn human with the scraggly beard. Although really I should shave so that I don't look like the wanted posters. I'll give that some thought. He
Well.
kind of like leans back against the wall. Well, go ahead.
I'll be back. She kind of, turns and slips away through the crowd.
Okay.
She's still wearing the kind of gear she had during the little ill-fated heist not that many hours ago.
You haven't really had a chance to change anyway.
No.
She's been busy.
Although she probably did take a second to stitch up the tear from where she got stabbed. And finally put out the smoldering claw marks on her shoulder.
Okay, Sparrow, how subtle are you as you're heading through the crowd?
I don't think she's expecting anybody to immediately recognize her, so she's not being super subtle about it. She's probably just kind of moving through the crowd at a normal, sort of pace and obviousness.
Okay. So, in that case, Sounder, you see Sparrow in the crowd. She's just kind of mingling with people.
I think
You see her before she sees you, at least.
I think Sounder tries to yell, but I mean, the music is just so loud.
Yeah.
So, is now doing that. It's a beeline as much as you can beeline through a crowd. I mean, Sounder's kind of stocky and not somebody that, when she squares her shoulders and starts picking a direction and people see it, they tend to, don't want to get bowled over or whatever and pushed aside, but
You're the dangerous one in the fantasy mosh pit? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I guess.
Okay. So, yeah, you head over towards Sparrow. Orianna, Sounder just, makes
Where are
a
you
beeline
going?
through the crowd.
Where are you going? And she's just sort of trying to push
As
through.
soon as Sounder gets close enough to Sparrow, just kind of reaches out and grabs sleeve or whatever, to try and get your attention because it's very crowded.
Yep, sure
All
enough. There's Sounder.
Sparrow will, she'll do kind of a little bit of a turn, kind of stepping into the touch almost, so that suddenly she's very close, and she'll stop, very short, and just be there's this mix. There's this mix of emotions on her face before it all kind of just squares away, and and she slowly pulls the hand that she's had between herself and you.
Yeah. Which
and
is
slides
funny
a knife back into her belt.
because Sounder is, used to dealing with pretty jumpy types. Sounder, at the very least, never broke eye contact, but had brought hand down into gut region to have hand between knife and gut, because scar on my hand. Everyone needs his hand,
All
but
right.
I kind of need my guts.
You see each other. You don't stab each other.
We need to talk.
Clearly, how you got out?
So you knew where we were.
Orianna shows up.
I had no idea where you were. That was the problem.
Orianna's looking judgy.
You got out. That's all I'm saying. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for
gratified.
leaving us there to die or go horribly insane forever.
I'm sorry.
Are you though? You seem pretty comfortable and happy with exactly where you are.
Considering that you only recently put out the smoldering, do you still smell faintly of burnt?
Yes, there's probably still a lingering touch of burnt cloth.
Just kind of that,
Yeah, it
making
seems
this
reasonable.
face just kind of what is that smell?
Don't worry about it.
No, very worrying about it. What is burning?
Nothing's burning. Look, there are better places to talk about this in the middle of whatever this
Yeah,
is.
we can hardly hear each other anyway. Come on.
Yes.
So Angie, up on stage, you are seeing these three women down there in the crowd. Most people are just kind of dancing or swaying to the music. Many people are, stoned out on Lotus, out of their minds, right? But these three seem very determined and having like some kind of big argument in the middle of your set. How do you react?
I react by casting Charm Person against them to make them have the fun they are supposed to be having as members of my audience.
Oh no.
Okay, so I think you could target one of them. You would know enough to know that elves are typically resistant to charming attempts.
Yeah.
But there is a tiefling there, and there is a half-orc? You're not really sure.
And I feel like Sounder looks the most, like, unhappy.
No, disagree there.
If Orianna
yeah.
says Orianna looks the most unhappy, then I'm gonna target Orianna.
Yeah, like
they
Ori
seem to be
is
together, so I'm going with the most unhappy person because I feel like they will bring the others along.
Yeah.
That's
Orianna is
reasonable.
peak 5 killer right now.
Okay. Orianna, make a saving throw.
Okay.
And Amanda, what is your DC listed as?
Let me see. What am I looking for? I'm looking.
So in spells, you
Yeah.
should have save DC listed at the top of your list.
It says 15.
Awesome.
And what is the
Wisdom.
wisdom?
Wisdom.
Oh
Wisdom.
god. All right, here I go. Oh, I got a nat 20.
Hey, all right,
Total
not
of
so bad.
21.
Okay, so it seems like the tiefling on the stage has noticed you and is now singing like directly to you, Orianna, and is like looking at you very intensely and like smiling at you and just thumping away on the drums. And like you feel this wave of like, hey, have a good time, it's all good, coming at you, but you manage to, the anger manages to keep it at bay.
Righteous indignation.
No talk, me Anki.
My armor is fury. So I just imagine that like she looks up when like she feels the wave of magic hit her, and just like I don't know if you guys have seen that gif of like that gray cat that like looks up and then squints. Like that's exactly what she does. It's like, angry.
Okay. So Orianna, looking at this tiefling who is performing on stage, she is a tiefling. She has, horns that go back. She has pink skin. She is not of any clear lineage. Sometimes when you look at tieflings, you can tell exactly which god of hell they are descended from. This particular tiefling, you cannot say for sure.
Huh. Now there's still a squint, but it's more of a huh?
Your spell has failed, Angie. What do you do now?
Don't know what I do now. It doesn't fail. It's not supposed to fail. I play a little louder and I play a little faster until I get to the end of the song a little more quickly than I otherwise would have, and then I take a break.
Hey, she's looking a little bit upset.
Oh.
She says, I shall return. She storms off the stage. Okay.
Sparrow will look a little confused at that, but kind of turn back. There's better places to talk about this.
Yes.
This entire time, considering that Sounder doesn't know that an attempt at a spell was cast, has been trying to kind of meander out of the mosh pit.
So
There are people trying to pull you into the mosh pit, and you're like, no, thank you,
Alright.
no.
Sounder, grab her, and she points to Sparrow. We have to find our info broker.
You don't. Wait, you're here for an info broker.
Well, we have to find out who else set us up, don't we?
So Angie, you're stamping down the stairs, and you kind of go into one of the back rooms. It's like a backstage, sort of.
Green
And
room.
this-
Flagon of wine.
Yep.
It's my writer.
Yep. Yeah, whatever else you've specified, because you bring a lot of good business to the tavern, they have done their best to accommodate. As you're drinking your flagon, very large flagon, a voice from the shadow says, Angie, getting emotional on stage, are we? And you recognize your old friend, Tarant's voice. Tarant, who is a thief of some renown in the city, although mostly his renown is based on his anonymity. Most people just refer to him as the Shadow, which he hates. He hates that. That's a terrible name. Anyway, he's leaning against the wall, arms crossed.
I thought we discussed you're bothering me at work.
I thought our discussion ended up with you encouraging me to bother you at work.
I believe you have bothering me at work and employing me confused one with the other. Once again.
Right. Well, there's a score, and I need a little bit of information from you. You are extremely well learned and hear about all sorts of secrets. We should probably wait for my partner to get back, though. I know, I usually work alone. But I think you'll like this one.
Oh, lovely. Why,
wonder
yes,
what's-
let's have all the thieves incursion into my dressing room.
Yes, well, I suppose in my line of work, privacy isn't necessarily a big thing.
No, darling, I suppose it isn't. Very well, we shall wait for your associate.
I wonder what's keeping her. Anyway, so there's an argument going on out in the common room. All right, people are kind of like making their way back to their tables, ordering some more drinks, that kind of thing, now that the bard is no longer performing. They have kind of like scooted up some very foppish sort of like newbie who has a lute, and they're like, yeah, come on, fill in. And he's like, he starts strumming.
If you're here for an info broker, I happen to be here for the same reason.
Do you know
Ah.
to meet the info broker?
No, hang on a second, because again, you are not asking nearly enough questions, as we still have yet to find out exactly what the fuck happened in the thing, and I'm sorry that is the one, but that was a very important one.
That's right, one F-bomb
Was
per
it?
show.
Yeah.
So,
Sensible.
And I can answer your questions when we get to somewhere more private. But trust me, I had no intention of abandoning you. I had every faith in your ability to get out of there. I promise.
a lot like somebody who would betray us, would say.
When have I ever betrayed? Don't answer that.
Look,
So you see the door to the back room open.
fighting each other isn't the way to go about this right now. We can have this argument back at the stables, back anywhere. Right now, we have one job.
Speaking of, you might want to
Found the
talk-
horse.
Good. I'm glad, because I left it with your boss. I left a very good word for you. And he did say that he wouldn't even yell at you when you got back for borrowing it.
Why would he yell at me? He knows Brad's my favorite. I take Brad on every job I can take Brad on.
Where's the thing?
The thing wasn't there. The thing was already gone. All I found when I opened that... Oh, well, I didn't even open that chest. The chest was already open. And all I found was the broken piece of a lockpick. But I, being industrious, managed to track the origin of that lockpick and found the person who took it.
Why did they take it?
Why do we take anything?
Look. It's fine if it's for money. I don't care if they took it for the money. But we need to know who has it, and at least that they're not gonna use it, so that we don't get debt.
Why would you get...
Don't.
What did you do?
You did, by leaving us there.
Dumont is aware that you were involved, that you left, and is not happy.
And why
So,
did you-
I would imagine that you now have a very vested interest in ensuring that when this job is done, the object leaves in my hands, right?
Now,
I suppose that I do.
we don't actually need that object. We don't need it, because it's not in that Lord's hands. Doesn't matter. As long as we verify who has it is not that Lord.
Well, I can
Assuming-
verify that now. The person who took it... Look. The person who took it happens to be something of a new business partner.
That was convenient and fast.
Well, I did chase them across half a city. So,
Maybe not fast, actually. It's been a few hours.
Yeah, Sparrow was busy.
yes. Look, I have had a day. All right?
You have had a day. We were trapped in a madness dimension.
I had to figure out
When
how
did
to
that
move by using my nose. And I had to blink my ears off by using my eyes.
Yeah.
No.
So tell us more about how bad your day was, please.
Okay, so pause for a second.
Fire.
Back in the back room, Tarant closes the door slightly and he says, you know, we're really just acquaintances. You could... Honestly, I just really need the information myself. She's currently meeting with another tiefling who looks a little bit put out. You don't
it's
happen...
just the shape of our faces.
Are you saying that you have resting angry face?
A bit.
Well, you wouldn't happen to have attracted any hellfire trouble recently, have you?
Suppose that depends on your definition of recent, but not anything unusual, not anything I couldn't handle.
Well, that's good. No one coming to your club to rough you up or anything. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'd call us friends, but I do like you, you know? It would be, you know, within my duty to stop that from happening.
No. Haven't been the target of any unusual violence any time lately, anyhow.
Well, that's good. Anyway, let me tell you about this job that she suggested. And it looks like your share has just increased quite a bit if our alliance isn't actually going to hold up.
I do like the sound of that.
Okay, so he goes over to the table and he lays out this like paper which has notes on it and such, and you start planning. Okay, back out to the common room.
Look, I'll lay it out simply. Had I not left when I did, would have died. And none of us wants that.
I think at this point, one of us wants that.
I didn't ask you, Sounder.
Look. Do you know where this information book can be found?
Right
In
over
this
there.
present moment? Because, I mean, I know she walked off stage, but I don't know to which room.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Do we know enough to make that connection that the performance was the information? Like, I don't know if I have that information.
Based
the
on what
performer
they're saying to you,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Tarant did not tell you that, actually.
No, Tarant did
Yeah.
not tell me
He
that.
just said you were going to meet an information broker, a contact of his here at the tavern.
Look, I've been here a few times. I'm sure there's dressing rooms in the back.
It's definitely that performer that was on stage. On top of being the unusual performance, she attempted to cast a spell on me.
What?
Yes,
Did she now?
it failed.
Well, that's good to hear.
That's why she fled.
Oh, this would be fun. Come on.
Not out of fear, but out of pique.
Look, that caster, that lord, hit me with some kind of spell and then stabbed me. I was not in very good condition, so I made the choice to retreat, trusting that the two of you would be skilled enough to get out of there on your own. If I had
Well,
stayed, he
you were
would have
wrong.
killed me. Well, you got out.
You not got me out. Which means that there will likely be another debt. And she just goes forward.
And how would I have... Well, then all three of us would have been trapped in a madness dimension. Or I would be dead and you'd be trapped in a madness dimension. It's not...
Yeah.
Fine.
It's not fun. It's messy. Let's just get this over with, so we can report back that we know where it is, and that you didn't take it.
No, I didn't. I was trying to get it back so that I could find the two of you, and then perhaps we could go do something with it. You know, like get our payday.
So back in the back room, Tarant has finished telling you, Angie, about the plan, and you've provided him with some information. We can figure that out later. And then he says, well, shit, I think she's coming this way. Anyway, I'm sure that you can take care of them. Tell her that I am a human and short-lived and thus had to run.
As per usual then.
50-50, yes?
Agreed.
You're the best.
I
Then he
know
heads
that.
off. Through the window, obviously. Okay, and at that moment, the door opens and these three very interesting ladies come in.
Well, if it ain't a riffraff, didn't have the good sense to enjoy the show. I'd say and flatter your back here, but really you're trespassing. And I tell you, you come looking for autographs, I ain't gonna sign them. I don't put my signature on nothing. Done that one the hard way.
So pushing you two in further, shuts door.
Can I help you then?
I understand you have some information.
I don't know what you're thinking. I know how to play the drums. No name of the bartender. Know what he's into. If you're looking for that, might could hook you up, but
You also know how to cast spells. So how about you stop playing dumb with us? Because you know that your magic didn't work on me.
I ain't never said I'm dumb. And I ain't never denied doing the magic neither. My job's to entertain. You wasn't entertained, was ya? So I did a little
I
thing.
suppose
Tried to make
now
you like it.
now would be the time to mention that I'm here with Tarant.
He just left out the window, that one did.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you leave anything behind?
Bit of a plan he had. Might want to cut me in on a bit. I helped him out. You're the one he said he was sending then.
We were supposed to be working on that plan together.
Oh, well. That's your first mistake. Ever trusting that one. Slip you into the fish in June.
So the sounds of the tavern are slightly muted back here. The room is not entirely soundproof, but it's very sound resistant. And you suspect that people could talk about all kinds of things back here, and no one would be the wiser.
Well, did he say where he was going?
Never says that. Let
Why
out
am
the
I not
window before I had a
surprised?
chance to chase him.
He doesn't matter.
I mean, it
doesn't
might.
I've lined up some money. He doesn't matter. Orianna, that parchment. You still got it?
Yes,
Can I see it?
I suppose. She rifles through some stuff and hands it to Sounder.
So this made the rounds around town. Word on the street is you know who might have sent it around.
The word on the street, is it?
Yeah, you know how it is.
I mean, I've been known to know a few things from time to time. Whether or not I got an answer, don't know why I ought to tell you lot.
Let's just say that a particular tiefling from that big fancy church up the way, gesturing in the direction of the Hellfire Church, says you're the person to go to. Knows you know the information, and just wants to know one simple thing.
And then, sorry, of a Hellfire Church, I just like they heard of me. Didn't tell me they'd hired a comedian.
Okay.
Ain't nobody up involved with that knows who I am. No.
So, Forta, with your passive insight, you can tell that it is a little bit funny for this tiefling to be telling you that the Hellfire Church doesn't know who she is, because they keep track of everyone with a fiendish bloodline. So there's something that she's not saying, like she's deflecting you in some way. It is pretty obvious. If you want to like piece together something, you'd have to make an active insight check.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And on top of that, knowing what I know about tieflings in the area, at the very least, what sorts of accent do they typically tend to have? Considering I've been in the area a while.
Well, accents aren't really a racial thing exactly. They're just
Okay,
kind of a cultural thing. But like this very lower class, flamboyant accent that she's doing,
doesn't quite match with the
with your 20 insight, you suspect that doesn't quite match with her, like the way she carries herself and her stance and stuff.
It's just not quite what I'm used to dealing with the people who use that accent.
It is fun.
It is fun.
But it's not, yeah, she's pulling one over on you. You could tell.
Yeah, all right.
So I want to clarify that whenever people do player versus player sort of actions, I always have each side roll the result, the die, and then I tell the person what the result is, and then they determine how much the person figures out.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw it over to Amanda. She got a 20, a dirty 20, not a like natural 20 on her insight check, which is pretty good. Do you want to add anything to what I said?
I'm going to say that because I am, as a player, aware of her intensely good sense of smell, this girl smells like soap and a perfume that someone for whom that is a natural accent would not have been able to afford. This is not the designer imposters. This is Chanel.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, sweetie. Since we both know that what you're wearing right now doesn't come at the price point of the voice you're using, let's stop playing at being whatever this is.
I'm gonna put that in my notes about the perfumes. I'm gonna say that this is Cannel, It's a very expensive perfume in Nightside.
And Ori's is probably like whatever cheap crap you get at Claire's.
I was picturing like Taboo from the Walgreens. Like,
yeah. Exactly.
like drugstore. Yeah.
It is literally going to be called Taboo. Tabu.
Yes.
Cheap
That is
perfume.
literally what my granny wore, and I love
In
it. Yes,
Nightside.
please. Okay. Love
Worn by Orianna. Okay.
And
All right.
since we're gonna stop beating around the bush, Dumont sent us.
it. Oh, well, I suppose that's a horse of a different color altogether.
Accent totally changes. Yep. Okay.
Just
Yes.
wanna know
Finally.
who sent that around, because that determines who he goes after next, and I can go back to my day job.
That particular paper was retrieved off of members of the Shadow Knives. I think their reputation precedes them.
Indeed. Let me see it.
Gonna hand it over.
All right, so player doesn't know what all I know about this. So
Okay.
what do I know?
Well, this is a pretty good time for us to take our little mid-session break. So I will fill you in a little bit during the break, and then we will figure out a good thing to do. So Yang Yang, please queue us up for 10 minutes, and we shall be back soon. Don't go away. Enjoy these words from our sponsors. And we're back. Welcome back to the Dungeon Scrawlers, the third episode of Greymantle. I needed to show everybody my kukri since I mentioned that I was going to show it off on the stream. My wife was in Nepal for the last couple of weeks, and she brought me back this this actual Gurkha kukri, which is made by a organization in Nepal that makes these specifically. I will share information about it on the Discord if you would like to order one of your very own. It is very sharp and very deadly, and I love it. Anyway, I'll put that away and we can get back to the game. So when the Shadow Knives are wandering around stabbing people in the dark, one can assume they carry blades that look kind of like this. So, okay. So the group has been having a little bit of a conversation with Anji. And I don't know if you want to do the whole conversation. We certainly can. Or we want to gloss it over it and just keep moving. But
I can give you a bit.
yeah, go for it. Tell us what you want to tell them.
Indeed, I am aware of the artifact in question. Last I knew, it was in possession of one Lord Rogalard, though I do suspect that may be no longer the case. Our friend Tarrant, recently of the window, had engaged me for information as to how to break into a certain Shadow Knives safe house. I suppose I can share with you what I shared with him, as supposedly the two of you have been in some cahoot. There's a weakness to this. There's a rear entrance, a bit out of the way, sort of off in the lawns. The man who guards it, right at the break of what this part of the world might call daytime. He's a regular here. Sneaks off his post sometime round lunch. On the daily. Always has the same 2 requests. Always tips me 3 pieces of gold, and the bartender 4. He gets nice and lit, returns to his post, and, well, the twice I've gone back with him, he's been quite out of it. So, I told Tarrant, and I'm telling you, there's a way in. It's unguarded for part of the day, and, less guarded for another fraction. Do what that with you will.
Well, for the fact that he might be, well, let me put it this way. He might have tried to cut me out, I'm getting the impression. Regardless, that might be a bit of a mistake, given that I left out some key information.
I'll make the same deal with you that I made with him. I help you, I get a cut.
Certainly can see our way to that. I don't mind sharing in the spoils.
And I don't mind cutting our friend Trot out of the deal altogether. He's never been a particular friend, although an occasional source of revenue. You know how that
True.
is.
Though, as part of that, I would like to get a better idea of where he might be found, given that part of why I was working so closely with him is that he has something that I want.
Best I understand, he's headed exactly where I just told you to go.
So much the better. Because, well,
He's old and human at that. If you're the slightest bit fleet of foot, you could beat him there.
I have no doubt that we are. She'll
Duran's
look at-
climbing up a wall somewhere. He's like, "Ow! Where's my ear hurting like that? Ow! Somebody's okay."
She looks at the others.
That answered your question. That didn't answer mine. Who is it that started this little ball rolling? How many people knew about this and put this parchment out into the world, hoping that someone would take it? Because that's bait if ever I saw it.
But I know you and our window-leaping friend aren't the only people in search of this artifact. But you are the only ones in possession of the knowledge of how to get into this particular spot, where it is supposedly being held. Unless, of course, this is all a trap and Lord Robelard's never lost custody of it at all.
That would have been some impressive acting skill on Robelard's part.
Oh.
Not
I didn't
impossible.
know you'd actually been in contact with him.
We did see him. He did try to kill us. He stabbed me. So I'd really rather not go back to dealing with that fellow anytime soon.
Indeed you shan't. If you've spoken with him, and he's as put out at the loss of this artifact as I would imagine one would be, then I suppose my fellow at the back gate is perhaps our best hope.
Yes. Well, perhaps we can go and, well, while we set up a little trap for our friend, I think we might as well help ourselves to some of the spoils. It wasn't a dud tip that I gave him, just simply something that I'd had in my back pocket, thinking about doing for some time, and it seemed like a good opportunity to put him in a position where I could acquire what we were looking for.
It's always best to play your cards when they become advantageous. I think I like you.
And I think this might work.
But we should take the door. The windows are a bit cramped.
Agreed.
The sooner we get this done, then the sooner we can all be on our merry ways, spending our massive amounts of money.
That would be ideal. And yes, and she'll look at the others and just be like, look, Terrance was the owner of the lockpick. The one that we found, that I found in the chest. If anyone has the object, it's him.
And if he doesn't, We need to find out where he dropped it off.
Well, I would assume that if he doesn't have it, it's already in the hands of Hellfire.
If
It's not.
Hellfire's the only one that knew about it.
Are
Since
you
they
sh-
don't.
Are you sure about that, given that when I found him, he was squatting in the bell tower of one of Hellfire's largest temples?
That man never could find quality accommodation.
Oh, the tea. Yeah.
The thing I'd wondered is why your people would send multiple groups to secure the same object, because while we were in there,
Huh?
not only did our dear friend Tarant make off with the object before we even arrived, but a crew of your people busted in through the door and decided to, well, I don't suppose you noticed the black smoke on the horizon.
Don't suppose I have.
Come to think of it, as you've been walking through you've been very focused on your goal.
Yeah.
But going through the city, you did see that there was some smoke on the horizon. You assumed it was from a fire of some kind. It appears, based on what Sparrow is saying, that that smoke might be coming from that manor house.
When I got out of there, it was very much on fire. Thanks to more people.
Yeah, the tiefling that you recall encountering was named Belthagast. And Belthagast is someone that Orianna definitely knows. He is a bully and, kind of like big on his heritage. He is a Glazia tiefling. So a scion of the Queen of Hell. So he considers himself better than most other tieflings. And he is a fire slinger of some kind. He also has a warlock pact, maybe with Glazia herself. You're not really sure. It's not exactly taboo for warlocks to talk about their infernal pacts, but they don't usually do it because it's exposing potential weaknesses and giving information to other potential rivals. So, but you do know that guy, and he is a big asshole.
And Sparrow will continue. And it was your old friend Belthagast that tried to kill me on the way out.
Two things. We are not friends. We are
For the
not
new one.
friends.
He
Neither are we.
He may have made some passes at Orianna to strengthen his own bloodline, that kind of thing.
Well, he was certainly
real gross. Real gross.
He was certainly familiar enough with Sparrow to go, you, and try to try to kill me. So
Yeah.
Well, wait, did Sparrow say that part out loud?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Okay.
I feel like if there have been clashes between Belthagast and Sparrow in the past, and there have, then Orianna probably knows about them.
Yeah.
He is 100% that guy.
Yeah.
He has
Honestly,
such a
Orianna might have been
tragic
there.
backstory too. Oh my god. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I can imagine Orianna might have even been there for some of them if you're down.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so she's just like, he wants what he can't have, which you have had.
Oh,
ooh, ooh.
Suddenly things just got very interesting.
Sparrow just looks a little smug at that.
It's like the one thing like united and
Yes.
screw that guy.
Just
But-
call Belthagast an incel. Okay, yeah, it's fair.
Uh,
Fair.
no.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense. Also, he's so loud and terrible and really not at all subtle. If What? Why?
I also want to quickly call out that our viewer count is presently at 69. Nice.
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 Anyway.
All right. So
What a game. Anyway.
but has but Tarrant is Shadow Knives, isn't he?
Tarrant is a free agent.
Oh.
Like Sparrow. I mean,
Much
you're
like
both free
myself
agents.
these days.
Okay. All right.
So-
Well,
Actually, if somebody would like to make a history check, or I'm gonna have Manda, your character knows this automatically. You don't have to make a check.
I got a
Nice.
20.
Oh,
Not too shabby.
All right, Sparrow. You have heard rumors, and Amanda, your character, can confirm this, that Tarrant is a product of the Seekers, which are a shadowy organization that operates within Nightside and Dayside. And they are specifically balance keepers, that they're basically a true neutral organization that has powers over light and darkness. And supposedly Tarrant is a former member or stole some of their training or something like that. You're not sure, but he's associated with the Seekers in some way.
What was this group called again?
Seekers.
Just Seekers. Okay.
Seekers. Seekers. And it's unclear what they're seeking. Truth, balance, reconciliation, temperance. Who knows?
Some people just have to be overachievers.
And Amanda, you know that that's the case. You know that Tarrant is a former member of the Seekers, having been raised by them in some way, like for some time. Like, you've had many conversations with him, and that's what he's told you, is that he used to be a Seeker, but he doesn't. I mean, he basically uses what they taught him to do his own thing. So, and with your 20 on history, Sparrow, you know that the Seekers are basically a mystic order. They are what we would call mucks, essentially.
Ah. Well. But yes, he's something of a free agent. Much as I myself am. And, well, as I said, I did find him squatting in a very hellish place. My question is, why? Well, I suppose it's more along the lines of, did your people have so little faith that they hired 3 different, or at least sent 3 different groups to get the same job done? That, or it was just simply that important?
Orianna, would you like to make an insight check, please?
Yes. Let's see. I have no insight.
Cool. Give you advantage because you're very familiar with the Hellfire organization.
Okay.
Being an active member of it.
Are you kidding me? I rolled. It's still 3.
Okay.
God.
So,
What are
Anji, you could point out that the Hellfire organization is hardly a monolith, and there are numerous operators within Hellfire who are constantly working against each other for power and influence.
I will share that, and I will share it in a tone of voice that is probably a little too salty for someone speaking academically about things.
Mm-hmm. Which rings very true to you, Orianna. Like you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's absolutely true.
And I imagine the saltiness likely has something to do with why Dumont called her the Exile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dumont he's not an independent operator, but he's basically a power broker within Hellfire. Like he has rivals within Hellfire, and he is constantly working against them, jockeying for position. So acquiring or perhaps making Lord Robillard not have this device would be a source of power and prestige for him. Like that would be potentially a big political get for him.
Okay.
And see, this sort of thing is exactly why I no longer work for the Shadow Knives.
Not all
Anji,
of
you can
us.
fill in your head. The Shadow Knives don't have this kind of political structure. They're all about stealing valuable things and enriching themselves, and then, pressuring and intimidating people to pay them protection money, that kind of thing. They're much more straightforward than Hellfire is.
Yeah, they're more of a classic
Yeah.
Thieves Guild kind of situation.
Ori kind of looks at Sparrow and is just like, I'm glad that you were afforded the opportunity to flee. Not all of us are that lucky.
Well,
She
sometimes
just
when
casually takes another drink of her wine.
sometimes one must make their own exit.
Indeed. Cheers to that.
The
Someone
creepy lines just like sort of pulsate weirdly at like both of them as it seems like the eye moves in its own separate direction until Oria's like, quit it.
Well, it is still some hours until the guard shift change would happen. I think maybe Anji told Tarant about this, but not exactly when it would happen. So he's just kind of like surveilling the building, waiting for this guy to go
Yeah,
off
she'd
work.
have been like, wait until the guy at the back door leaves, because he's going to leave. Just wait.
Right.
Just stand there in the woods like a fool and watch.
I mean, to be fair, he's going to perch on the top of the nearby building, like on a gargoyle or something, just watching.
Yeah.
Right?
To look really
brooding.
cool.
Brooding
With
as long as possible.
As long as there's a wind for his cape to billow behind him.
And he's going to monologue in his head.
In a growly voice that's like 2 octaves lower than his normal voice.
And then when the guy finally leaves, he'll try to get down and like slip on the way down and like fall.
that was
like an
that was
infant.
the day that Sparrow was having last.
And the folk of Nightside will look up at me,
Oh,
and they will cry out for light, and I will say, sorry, no can do. Anyway,
As I tumble to the ground.
okay.
Oh.
Okay.
anyway,
He's not that much of a caricature, but okay, fine. Anyway, you
Yet.
send him on a little bit of a long tangent, giving you all time to plan and prepare and resolve whatever else you want to do. So you still have several hours yet. If you want to have further conversations, if you want to stock up on some equipment, whatever you want to do, just let me know.
well,
I'm treated pretty well in this place, so if anybody needs like food, drink,
Yeah.
cheap and easily obtained magical items.
Probably want some health potions going forward.
Yeah.
Seems smart.
I think yeah, that would probably be good given what happened last time. Me running around with 8 hit points, desperately trying not to get hit.
I think at one point you had like 2 hit points or something,
I think
You
it
were
was
like-
down to yeah.
and you were like, "Oh my god, I am no, stay away."
Like I didn't even pick like what Belfagar. I didn't even pick his pocket on the way out. Like I could have.
You could have,
Called
yeah.
it out. You called it out. And I was
I
like,
gave
no.
you the opportunity, and you said no.
No. Self-preservation comes first.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, Anji can hook you up with some food and wine. She is much beloved here. She is constantly performing by popular demand due to being an entertainer. And so she has lots of opportunity to, feast you and dress you in fanciful costumes if you like, and give you some better perfume.
I think the thing to do, like I think they would talk and they would stay in plan for a bit. But I think the thing to do, just to kind of give a general thrust to the way that Sparrow would kind of suggest things, is find a way, since they know when it's going to happen, find a way to get in there beforehand, before the shift in guards, and basically set up an ambush for Tehran. Because especially since, as a former member, she probably has some insight into a way to get in there that he might not have easy access to.
Okay.
Or at least a way past some other obstacles that might be inside that he also would not have been told about, because she would not have told him about that. It would have been like, wait until we get there, and then she'll be like, oh, hold up a sec, let me handle this.
So you do know of a sewer entrance to the safe house that most people wouldn't know about, and even Anji doesn't know about, and is like, oh, interesting.
I
Just
don't know
files
about
that
sewers, like not my brand.
away. And you do know a few pass codes that might get you into the safe house. They're older codes, but they might check out.
Can't risk that.
I saw that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what she puts forward, is that, like, I know of a way, I know of another way in, something that could get us inside before the shift change, and that way we can set up a little welcome for our friend.
And we set it up far enough in where our friend gets a little entangled, and we happen to waltz back out before the shift change comes back.
It could possibly be. That might
Like
work.
always, go with you. Wait for my gentleman friend at his post. Distract him for as long as you'd like.
Well, you do need to protect your investment, don't you?
Listen, I'm getting paid whoever gets, right? They don't
That's
know
right.
that.
She's playing all
I'm
sides.
getting paid no matter what. So,
Yep.
Speaking of money, and how much does that raise your fee?
oh no, darling. That bit's just for fun.
I can certainly get behind that.
Been a while since I've gotten into proper mischief.
Mischief's the best part of the job.
So I've been told.
Right? So, possible option. Ensnare him inside somewhere, get him hung up while we get what we need, and get out. Option 2. We know he's going to be watching the place. We find where the watching is most likely to be happening. Hell, we don't even really need to do that. We just need to make sure that when it's most likely that he'll come down from wherever he's at, he just gets intercepted by something.
Do we
True,
know
but-
how many people are inside the safe house?
Okay, so Sparrow is pretty sure that you'd be looking at a core skeletal crew inside the building of about 8 to 10. And then there might be more Shadow Knives who are using the building at any given time. It's hard to say. It's a safe house, right? So it's unpredictable, but there should be at least 8 people there at any given time. It is a front for a well, okay. So there's a business, a semi-legit business, which is a front for the safe house. What kind of business is it?
Are you asking me?
Mhm.
All right.
I am. Well, I'm asking anybody.
Magic laundromat.
Magic laundromat. Okay,
I
that's
mean,
a
it
good
could be a
suggestion.
laundry. It could be I mean, there's got to be, in a city like this, there's got to be places where people can, like, because there's not going to be easy access to, like, water sources that allow for...
No, laundromats were definitely a huge thing all throughout history, particularly
Mhm.
in eras when people didn't have, regular running water and
Yeah.
stuff. So
It's
yeah,
like-
absolutely.
as much as Greymantle has access to, like, things that are a bit more higher tech than your standard fantasy setting due to the abundant use of magic, I think that, yeah, for especially in, like, lower income areas of the city, i.e. Nightside, it'd be a lot more common to see places like that where
Okay. Magic laundry.
And I
yeah.
could imagine criminals finding criminal access to soap,
Mhm.
and therefore they can charge what this market can sustain because they're not paying for soap.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you can hide lots of stuff in big bins of clothing and buckets of water and
Yep.
all of those
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
Magic laundry would be an excellent front for laundering money and
Indeed.
hiding a safe house. I mean, they are in the modern day. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And also I imagine, like, it's perpetually loud in the front part of the building, so you don't really hear what's happening in the back of the building.
okay, this is good because I am gonna build a map for us to
Okay.
use for invasion of the magic laundry,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna build it in the next 10 minutes. So
Okay, I was all
Uh,
like,
so
I love this.
continue to plan, and I will keep taking notes, and I will then prepare. So
All right. Well, I don't mind the plan B idea, finding out where he might be holed up, but I think that plan A, at the very least, affords us easier access to the very loot he's after.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
I'm not saying we don't do plan A. I'm just saying plan B, maybe not a whole-on split of all of us, but get somebody to be our split and hang them up a little bit more.
Do we have anyone that we can think could get a drop on him? That's another question. He
Yeah.
is very skilled.
And also,
Wow.
if there's going to be a contingent of Shadow Knives within the building itself, we will very likely need all of us. Especially since they are aware of what they have, I imagine there will be skilled fighters among them.
I should remind the lot of you, he's unaware thus far that you're not on the same side. You could always use him to help get inside, to distract the guard, to infiltrate the laundry while you search for the item, and double-cross him later on.
You do have a point.
Let him do the work.
yes, you're pretty sure that if you show up and say, we talked to Anji and we convinced her to give us the information, we're still in business, then it is possible that he will go, all right, fine, we're still in business.
And then tip the guards off when we're in there. So we get to be the distraction, hung up inside.
Hold his hand. He's an old, feeble human.
He's like 38.
He's only like
He has like all gray hair.
Oh,
He does have a little bit of gray in his hair. He's very sensitive about it.
I'm
Anyway,
saying, any one of you could take him out.
he's old and withered.
Buddy.
He's a millennial.
oh, that
Oh,
was
that
low.
hurts.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
low.
I'm sorry. I am a millennial as well. So
I am Gen X, and so I enjoyed that greatly.
you are. It's true. Okay.
Well,
Poor Tarot.
Fact.
Made the mistake of being born a boy. Anyway.
Well,
Right.
I think that might be the best bet then.
Let him
Which-
believe you're on his side. There's no harm in it. He gets caught, so what? You were never together. He doesn't.
If that's the route we take, I got an idea. He doesn't know who we are, just that we're angry with you. He doesn't know we're working together. We take the sewer entrance. You convince him you're still working together. We lead him into the trap.
Oh, this
Not a
sounds
bad
right.
idea.
Yes.
Oh, you're
And-
clever.
Well, my old codes might work better if someone with my face isn't delivering them.
All right. Then Sounder and I will take the sewers. You two find our thief. And do we want to do this at is it noon when the shift changes? GM?
No, I guess not the shift change, but like when this guy's gonna go off to the brothel.
Yeah, it's about noon.
Okay.
Which the way time and culturally time works on Nightside, people tend to think of noon as midnight.
Mm.
Like that's the time when the least is happening because everybody's hiding away from the sun, right? The sun is most intense at noon. And so like that's the time when most people are asleep in Nightside, right?
Okay.
But yeah, like, so it makes sense that would be a good, time to sneak away from your post, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a reverse of the regular clock. So yeah, noon. High sun. Ugh. The sun. What is that hot thing in the sky anyway?
I mean, imagine living on Dayside, but it never goes away.
Right? Nightmare.
Anyway, well,
this campaign will eventually go to Dayside, and it will be interesting. So,
I like how this was supposed to be a one-shot, by the way.
no. There's no way. There's no way that was going to happen. This is too cool.
No,
Too
this is
cool a
the-
setting
to
for
a-
that to happen.
Well, we had other plans. There was going to be something else later, but yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
We're doing this now, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Okay,
yeah.
so you have a basic plan.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm hearing you correctly, Sounder and Orianna are going to go through the sewers to get through the sewer entrance. Sparrow is going to set them up with one of, or maybe multiple of the codes that she knows, the passcodes, which are somewhat out of date, but they might work. Meanwhile, Sparrow and Anji are going to go and find Tarot holding down his reconnaissance position, convince him that they're still working together and that it is still advantageous to work together. And then the two sides are going to work together to lure him into a trap. Is that your plan? More or less?
More or less, yeah.
And
Okay.
we'll let him, if we all get inside, we'll let him do as much as he feels the need to do to get the item. And if we have to steal it from him, like after we've gotten back out with it, that's also fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
All right.
but also
Additionally-
if they're gonna catch somebody and everybody
It's
else
gonna
is
be
gonna get away, we
Yeah.
have elected the somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the
idea-
scapegoat, the fall guy.
Yeah.
I
He's
got it.
the fall guy. That's him.
All right.
Yeah, the idea being that if he has the object we're after on him, then we can get it from him, and if he doesn't have it, then we find out where it is, and otherwise get out with as much stuff as we can take, while leaving him holding the bag.
Yeah.
Pretty
He
much.
gets
Sure.
to think he's a team member, but he is in fact the fully expendable one.
He gets to think he's gonna be doing the double crossing, and then it's like, wait,
No. No.
Speaking of,
This is exactly what I wanted this campaign to be, and I'm so glad about that.
Be gay, do crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounder is going to try and tap into some of her contacts before we actually go do this thing to see, because sometimes smugglers need to use some of these codes of these various groups to be like, hey, yeah, legit, I'm here for a delivery. This is for you. Gonna try and tap into some of those to figure out which, if any, of these codes are viable for that safe house.
Okay. Yeah, I am gonna have you make, I think, an investigation check.
Okay.
And let me know what your result is, and I will record that into my notes so I can plan for it.
All right. Investigation. Heck yeah. I don't know what that is. I think it's a 20.
Oh, nice.
Nat 20?
Natural 20. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so my thing
that's a nat
said it was a
20.
25.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So like augmented it's a 25. According to my computer.
This is Sounder's strength coming into this thing. Okay, cool. I will note that. All right. Okay. I will build a investigation infiltration of the Shadow Knives safe house for our next time. Is there any last minute business that you'd like to wrap up this session? Conversations that you'd like to have? Okay, so you've established the plan. Sounder, you're reaching out to your contacts. Sparrow, you're feeling like time to get one over on Durant. Orianna, how are you feeling? Sparrow has just been kind of like going along with everything that's going through.
Maybe people have forgotten about the other thing. Hey.
Oh, I suspect Orianna has not forgotten.
And Sounder will never forget. Might forgive, will never forget.
Does Ori have some Hellfire people under Dumont that she trusts enough?
Ooh, enough for what?
To basically be people to watch exits in case certain individuals choose to flee with the goods.
Well, there are several lesser kind of hangers-on. Okay, so let's back up a second. Orianna, as a anointed warlock, okay, and of the blood of Mephistopheles, right? That's who it is. You have a certain degree of a certain political position within the Hellfire family, extended family. The Mephistopheles clan, you are known as tricksters and powerful wizards. Wizard like people who cast spells, not like wizard like the wizard class.
Yeah.
Like you were known for your arcane powers and your trickery. There are a certain number of kind of hangers-on who are constantly jockeying for position and influence, and like, oh yeah, I'm a friend of Orianna, the daughter of Mephistopheles. So you could recruit one or a couple of those to do something for you. You could reach out to Demott and see if he has agents who he could set to do this. What would you prefer? How much do you trust Demott exactly? Demott is your personal patron. He is a power broker within Hellfire overall. He's not part of the Mephistopheles line.
Okay.
His particular tiefling origin is unclear. Like you look at him and you don't know who he's descended from. Much like when you look at Anji. Although Demott is older and more powerful than Anji.
Yeah. I feel like, given that, like, I feel like if she if Sparrow did betray them, that Dumat's people would just kill her.
That is a reasonable suspicion.
I feel like
Dumat was very careless with her life during your conversation.
Yes. So I feel like with this backup plan idea, she would go with those looking to secure favor with her family.
Okay.
And it's just basically like, the low-key, if you see this woman without, either me or, and she list Sounder and Angie and give the description, you are to capture.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say you're reaching out to political groupies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have you make a persuasion check, and that's going to determine how effective this is.
All right, cool. 18.
18. Okay, that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Right. I will take that into my notes. Sounder, you've already done a setup thing. Sparrow, do you want to do a setup thing? Anji, do you want to do a setup thing? Reach out to some contacts to make something happen. Sparrow's a bit isolated in terms of contacts.
Yeah, I think she's probably made all the preparations she can at the moment.
Okay.
I think anyone Anji would trust to tell this would try to talk her out of it, and she's like, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. It has been years since I've got to do crime. This is gonna be fun, and these people are kind of fun, and no, because someone will try to talk me out of it, and they might even succeed, and we're not running that risk.
All right, let me provide a couple of suggestions then. Sparrow, my suggestion to you is that you kind of map out whatever information you can maybe derive an additional insight about this safe house that you haven't necessarily told everybody. So you can make just an intelligence check, or you can make an investigation check if you want to.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
I know I said the word insight, but it's not actually an insight check.
No. Wait, no. I actually have... I'm going to use that inspiration I got earlier.
Oh, okay.
So let's try that again. Okay, 17 instead of a 2. I'll take it. Thank you so much again for the inspiration, Ellie.
That definitely helps. Okay. So I will determine what that 17 is when I do my planning. And Anji, what I was going to suggest was that you do some sourcing work, that you try and find some useful items that might help you on this task, because you're very well connected. Not necessarily at the bar, but there might be people at the tavern who owe you favors and can pay you off those favors with an item that might help you. So if you would like to make a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna not.
Or an intimidation check if you prefer. You could coerce something out of somebody.
No, persuasion is better. Persuasion is better.
All right, cool.
Give me where's the D20? I've never done this before. This is my Roll20 cherry being popped. Okay, 17, but I have persuasion at +7, so.
Cool.
All right.
That's math, but the DM can do
24.
it. 24.
Yeah, 24. Nice. Okay. All right, so I am going to make a note of this, and you are going to find some useful items.
Yay, for useful items. Stuff.
Okay. Probably it's going to take the form of potions that will probably assist, like healing potions, maybe an invisibility potion, something like that. Okay.
Invisibility potion would be helpful because I can turn them invisible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have invisibility, but I only have 2 spells.
Okay. So
I am very sneaky, and we'll leave it at that.
On that note, the party has now done some rolls for some preparation for next session. Yes, what were you going to say, Fortin?
So after preparations are made, is there any time to try and get like a short rest in?
Yes, you can take a short rest before you head over to this place. Good question. And yes, the answer is yes. Okay. On that note, the party has made some preparations. They've done some rolls. I'm going to tell them how that manifests at the beginning of next session. Stay tuned eventually for Greymantle 4, where we will theoretically wrap up this particular story arc, and then we will Greymantle will continue. Don't worry about that. There will be plenty. I am really liking this world. I can tell that you are all really liking this world and setting and game, and I want it to continue. So I have been excited to be the usual DM of the Dungeon Scrawlers campaigns, Westgate Irregulars, Greymantle, all of the other side campaigns that we're doing. Thank you everyone for coming along on this channel with us. Thank you to my players. I very much appreciate all of your efforts. Amanda and I wrote a book that's coming out in like just a few weeks. It's called Femmes Fatale. She's going to tell you about it. I don't want to steal her thunder, but it's about superheroes. It's superheroes in a loosest sense. They're actually former supervillains. Well, one of them's former, one of them's current. Anyway, but like it's great. And I am also working on another book, which is not yet announced, and will be working on another book, which is not yet announced later in the year. I keep doing mysterious things, but you can find me on Twitter or on Facebook because I am an elder millennial and still use Facebook. Okay, and on that note, take it away, Amanda.
Hi, yes, I'm Amanda Cherry, and I did, in fact, co-wrote a sapphic enemies to lovers demon hunting romance book that comes out November 15th from DEF CON 1 Publications. Yeah,
it's pretty fun, yeah.
It's pretty fun. We're having a good time with it. And I ordered custom Oreos with the book cover art on it for the book launch party. Yeah. So, yeah. That's a whole thing, because I am nothing if not extra. And if you want to follow me being extra all over the internet, you can find me at Manda the Ginger on Twitter and TikTok. Those are my two most used platforms. I'm also thegingervillain.com, where you can find updates and things like convention appearances and book launch related events, which I just realized I have not yet put on my website. So I now have an action item for tomorrow morning.
Excellent. Allie.
Hi, everybody. As I said at the top of the show, I am Alexandra Pitchford. I am a writer and game designer. I actually have a short story set in the Greymantle universe that features Sparrow and a couple of other fun characters. That's called The Sun Spear, coming out in an anthology called Never Too Old to Save the World. And that should be available soon. The Kickstarter did successfully fund, so just waiting to hear back about that. But also, I do have a Patreon that I'll throw the link in the chat. But the Patreon is where I'm actually releasing a serialized novella featuring Sparrow and a couple of other interesting sorts, doing a bit of a heist. It's called The Phantomere Job. Chapter 3 should be coming out sometime this month. But there's also other goodies that'll come out occasionally. Yeah, I hope folks check that out. The first chapter is presently free for anyone to check out. And then if you want to sign up, it's really like the lowest tier is like $1 a month. It's not even much at all. So
support her Patreon. It's way worth it.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Porta.
I'm Forta, also Lex. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at FortaFair, no dash in between. I can't remember if my other handles, other places like Coffee, also have no dash in between, but I illustrate, I play games, including Tuesday mornings in my time. It's way, way late at night Pacific time. Play a D&D game with Polished Cryptid on her channel. That has been so much fun, just straight chaos most of the time, but like, oh.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game.
We also play, if you guys are not doing anything on Saturday, we play on that channel a different game. We're kind of using the Strixhaven sort of module with a homebrew setting, and it's been interesting. Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's
Nice.
5 p.m. Pacific.
The magic school aesthetic.
Yep.
Nice.
We're preparing ourselves to go to space. Is the aesthetic. So that's
the last place
too.
that capitalism has not corrupted. Sorry. Elder millennial right here. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay, but sorry, I'm gone. That's pretty much all I have to plug.
I'm so sorry for it.
Illustration. In November, I'm opening up commission slots for big paintings. If you want your dungeoneering party painted for like a Christmas gift, those slots open in November. So that's pretty much all I got going on right now.
Nice. Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. You can follow me at Savage Sparrow on most social medias. I also run savagesparrow.com, which is an amazing website where you can buy nerdy apparel and accessories, like this cool Witch Club shirt I'm wearing. So the big thing at the end of the month, October 25th, I am launching a Kickstarter with my partnership with Paizo. We are making a whole line of Pathfinder-inspired apparel. There will be a dress with pockets. There will be a hoodie. There will be shirts. Yeah, I saw that. We got you. Pins, like bunch of cool stuff. It's going to be great. It's called the Kit and Kaboomal collection. You can find a link to the landing page on my Twitter. It's going to be super amazing, and I'm really excited. Paizo has been incredible to work with, and who doesn't love goblin chaos and explosions?
Absolutely. Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. This was really fun, and I'm looking forward to the next game. Thank you all for watching as well. We will see you next time. Until then, stay scrawly.